Hey, we're back.
Hey.
Okay, this time we want to talk about why we want to talk about beyond Rekindle and also like a travel concierge and why that has been so helpful, what our experience was using Vicky, and why that was like a total game changer for us with
Mhm.
travel. So, and I think it would be a total game changer for many couples who just like when you think about international travel and you see pictures, you're like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. And then you get into the weeds, which I've done when I'm trying to travel a trip, plan a trip, and I get on Travel Advisor and I like reading reviews because I'm super detail oriented. And then I'm just like off on this, and it's 8 hours later and I haven't made a decision or a plan.
Yeah.
And when with Vicky, she knows exactly where to go, who to talk to. She can talk in Spanish. She makes the reservations, you show up and it's done. So to me, that was like we actually rested, I felt like April when we went
Yeah.
in 2021. We'd actually planned our trip for 2020, 2019, and then the pandemic. So we had to postpone it 3 times, our 50s trip, because we turned 50 in
In
December of
2020.
yeah, because we didn't say this in before in any of our recordings, but your birthday is December 18th, 1970, and mine is December 19th, 1970. So you are older than me. But we
I
turned,
think you mean I'm more mature and wiser
hmm,
than you.
I think that's true, actually. So we turned 50 in 2020, which was a terrible year to turn 50, but we
Mm,
made the best of it and trusted God that He had a bigger plan and a better plan, which we absolutely know. When we traveled in April of 2021 with our husbands, it was a phenomenal time. And we had to postpone it because was it 2021 or 2022? No, it was
2022.
2022. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because we thought we were going to go in October of 2020 and then 2021, the spring of 2021, and then the fall of 2021. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about Vicky and what Vicky can bring to this
Yeah.
table. You
Yes.
okay? You share your experiences.
Yeah. So Vicky is a native of Argentina, and we got connected to her through a mutual friend of my husband. Actually, another attorney in Birmingham had used Vicky's services to book a hunting trip for himself multiple times and friends, and had such great experience that he said to my husband, if you're going to Argentina, you absolutely have to use Vicky Orden because her attention to detail, her commitment to personal service and personalization of your trip, no one can match it.
Hmm.
And so we took that advice. And I remember the very first call I had with Vicky, she was asking me a lot of questions about the kind of experience that we were looking for. And I said to her, we don't want to go to Costco. Okay, we want to go to a specialty boutique that only the locals know about. That's locally owned and operated. And she said, I know exactly what you mean. And she began working to help us craft a trip that met that expectation and desire. And I think for me, I am the cruise director in my marriage and my life. My husband refers to me as that. I enjoy planning parties and trips and getaways for family, but I'm often the person when on a trip that others look to when something's going wrong or there's a lull to answer the question, what do we do or what's next?
Yeah.
And I enjoy that a lot of the time, but I think for this trip, I really wanted to have a different experience and I wanted to feel taken care of and I wanted to feel like a participant. And I didn't want to feel responsible because I am always so responsible in the rest of my life.
Yep.
And Vicky made that possible. She
Mm.
took on the burden of responsibility and planning, and she was very responsive and respectful of any like instructions that we offered or preferences that we offered. And she was adaptable as well. Like even once the trip began, once we got in Argentina, there were a couple of times that we shifted and changed directions because of weather availability or just interest. I remember adding an olive oil factory tour at the very last minute on one of our last day in Mendoza, and ended up being one of my favorite things. And she made that happen with a private
Or
driver. And
I mean, I think too, April, like the other thing is the relationships she has created, like with the drivers, is incredible. Like we had a driver take us to this like private knife like maker who made these beautiful knives. And then we were running late to this very fancy dinner, which she had made reservations for. But because we were running late, we were able to text her and say, we're running late. She called and pushed the reservation. Like there were
yeah,
so many things that she was doing like ahead of us to take care of us so we could rest.
the number of times I said to like a driver or hotel staff that we encountered, oh, what else do we owe you? And they would say, oh, no, 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 Vicky has taken care of
Yeah.
it. Or we would mention Vicky and they would say, oh, we love Vicky. We
Mm,
love Vicky. There were a couple of times we got in trouble, in terms of our Spanish skills. We were really trying to draw on some of our high school and college training, but she would be very quick, to make a call for us if we needed it. And that just alleviated so much stress
mm,
from the dynamic of international travel.
mhm.
And really one of my favorite things that Vicky did for us is when we were talking about the guys wanted to go golden dorado fishing. And we were planning to do that. And Vicky reached out to us and said, hey, actually this year, though it is season, the fishing is terrible. Nobody has a clear explanation why it is, but everybody agrees this is not the time to go to golden dorado fishing. You'll be disappointed.
Mhm.
And that was a disappointment. But we said to her, well, what about trout fishing in Mendoza? Could we go trout fishing like at the foot of the Andes? And she said, I don't know. I've never arranged that before, but let me make some calls.
Mhm.
And boy, did she make some calls. And it turned out to be my very favorite
Yeah,
day of
that
the
was my
entire
husband's,
trip.
and I think mine too. Like it was just
Yeah.
so personal, and we
Yeah.
literally they washed and like they cooked the fish on the fire and they chilled our wine in a cold creek.
Yeah. It was amazing.
It
And
was.
it was just the four of us with a fly fisherman guide. And there was another man that was there that was kind of like the curator of the hatchery that was nearby. And it was incredibly peaceful, beautiful, breathtaking, engaging. And she made that happen.
Mhm.
That's not something we researched, not
Yeah,
something that it wasn't a package deal. And that's why I have so much confidence about the beyond Rekindle
yeah,
portion. I got a lot of confidence about Rekindle because Sarah and I have an enormous amount of experience and training, and we feel really great about the tools and the framework that we're going to bring for couples to engage in. But the beyond rekindle, which I don't have control over, I have absolute confidence in because Vicky has
yeah.
control over it. And I have experienced firsthand
Mm.
travel that she has been the person planning and arranging and supporting.
Yeah. And I would say she really supports people.
Yes.
I think support's a great word. Like she like supports like picking them up at the airport. She met us at the airport with cups of coffee. Now I don't know if she's going to do that for everyone because we had delayed our trip 3 times, but still, she does. She super supports people. Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna end the video here and do another video about Beyond Rekindle because I really wanted this. I think we've done a great job talking about the
absolutely five
absolute. We
stars.
killed it about just the travel experience. Is there anything else you want to add, April, before we end it about just how that was changed the game for us? I think you're right. It just helped us rest and relax.
I mean, I've said I'm never going back.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not going to take
yeah,
another international trip
yeah,
without someone on the ground offering that level of service
yeah,
because it was so profoundly different than any other travel experience I've had.
yeah. Yeah. So if you want to know more about Rekindle, you can go to the website Sparrow, like the bird sparrow, counsel, COUNSEL.com, and you can see a tab that says Rekindle. We spent a lot of time giving information, hopefully answering your questions. That would be one place. You can also follow us on Instagram at RekindleXOXO. If you have any questions that you want to email us directly, you can email us at rekindlexoxo@gmail.com. And we also have a Facebook page, Rekindle Enrichment Travel. So we would love to hear from you. We are hoping and praying that 14 couples join us in October 2023. I'm ending. Bye bye.